Under the searing sun of the Browns' summer camp, new coach Nick Scourge pushed his team to the Hiram heat, harder than any Cleveland club before it. His goal was to rebound from a disappointing season the year before, the team's last under Blanton Collier. So as fans flocked to the first game in this season of change, the big question was whether Cleveland could regain its position as one of the most successful teams in football.
Introducing the Cleveland Browns defensive lineup. At left end, number 80, Turkey Jones. At left tackle, number 71, Walter Johnson. At right tackle, number 72, Jerry Sherk. At right end, number 81, Jack Gregory.
In the opener, Bill Nelson's pinpoint passing piled up 31 points against the Houston Oilers. Even more gratifying to Scourge was the performance of his defense, which simply overwhelmed the Oilers. The defense intercepted 5 passes, 2 by number 1 draft choice Clarence Scott, number 22, playing in his first professional game, and 2 by strong safety Walt Sumner, number 29. The 31-0 shutout made Scourge's debut a successful one, and the Browns were off to a flying start in quest of a Central Division title. On the season's second Sunday, a dark, rainy day in Baltimore, the team faced the vaunted Colt defense, and the yards came hard. Yet the great mudder, Leroy Kelly, ran well, and the Browns dominated the game. But the big story again was the defense, which for the second straight game picked off 5 passes and allowed no touchdowns. The Colts' only 6-pointer came when a Don Cockcroft punt was blocked. It put Baltimore right back in the game. With 9 seconds remaining, John Unitas's long pass downfield was stolen by Walt Sumner, and the Super Bowl champions were beaten. In the rain and mud of Memorial Stadium, the Browns had given Nick Scourge his second straight victory and gained new stature in the NFL. The third game was on Monday night against Oakland, and a national television audience saw Bill Nelson and the Browns at their finest. Cleveland built an early lead, but in the fourth quarter, Nick Scourge watched helplessly as it completely disappeared. With sudden swiftness, the Browns had suffered their first defeat of the new season. Against the Steelers on the season's 4th Sunday, the Browns bounced back. Led by the running of Bo Scott, they gained a comfortable lead. Then, as in the Raider game the week before, the lead dwindled. With 9 minutes left in the game, Bill Nelson, aided by 2 stunning third down catches by Bo Scott, moved his team 86 yards in 8 minutes in a brilliant display of ball control. Leroy Kelly's touchdown capped the victory that gave Cleveland undisputed possession of first place in the AFC's Central Division. The next week, a record crowd crammed Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium and saw the Bengals control the ball game. As late as 10 minutes into the fourth quarter, Cincinnati led by 11 points. Then the Browns put on one of the greatest come-from-behind efforts in the team's history. Bo Scott's score reduced the margin to 4 points. And with just over a minute remaining, the Browns regained the ball and again marched steadily downfield against the stunned Bengal defense. With 44 seconds left, the call again went to Bo Scott, who powered past 6 tacklers for his third touchdown of the day. Furious finish was the 4th win in 5 games, and at this point, Cleveland looked like one of the strongest teams in football. Then, inexplicably, began one of the bleakest and most barren periods in the history of the Browns. Nick Scorage's leadership was put to severe test when the team lost a record 4 consecutive games. The offense completely disappeared. The entire season seemed to be slipping away. In the face of collapse, Nick Scorage proved himself a decisive leader. He turned to youth, especially on his aging offensive line. The drastic shakeup included veteran Fred Hoagland, number 54, who was replaced at center by number 64, Jim Copeland. 13-year man Dick Shafrath sat down for the first time since he replaced Lou Groza at tackle way back in 1960. His replacement was 6'6" rookie Doug Deacon, number 73, who went from taxi squad to special teams to starter in 10 weeks. The other tackle was number 78, last year's top pick Bob McKay. At 6'5", McKay is bigger, stronger, and younger than his predecessor, Monty Clark. But the biggest move Scorage made came at flanker, where Gary Collins, the Browns' great All-Pro, gave way to faster Frank Pitts. Pitts provided the deep threat Cleveland so badly needed. This was amply evident in the 4th loss against the Chiefs. Pitts' spectacular circus catches kept Cleveland in the game. It was in this narrow loss to Kansas City that the Browns' non-existent offense appeared to finally regain some life. On a windy, dark day against the Patriots, Pitt's presence again proved vital for Cleveland. The revamped offensive line allowed Leroy Kelly to flash his old open field skill as he gained well over 100 yards. But more importantly, the Browns won and ended the long losing streak 27-7. The next week in the Astrodome, the Browns broke loose with their biggest scoring spree of the season. In beating Houston, Cleveland regained first place in the AFC's Central Division. The next Sunday was high drama, as before 83,000 howling fans, the Browns and Bengals met for the Central Division title. From opening kickoff to final gun, it was a classic Browns-Bengals battle. Late in the first half, Cleveland trailed by 13 points. Then, with just 12 seconds left, Bill Nelson hit fair hooker with a strike, and the Browns trailed by just 6 at the half. When the second half began, Nelson came out firing. Frank Pitt's unbelievable catch put Cleveland briefly ahead, for Cincinnati came right back to score. With 8 minutes left, the Browns rose to the occasion with a spectacular exhibition of running by Kelly and Scott. With over a minute left, Leroy Kelly dove for the touchdown that gave Cleveland one of the most exciting victories in their 22-year history. Nick Scourge had the most important victory in his career, for the Browns had risen from the depths of defeat to become the first team in football to clinch a division title. The comeback in Cleveland was complete. Next were 2 meaningless games, yet the streaking Browns won them both. In New Orleans, neither team seemed able to hang on to the football. Then the Browns defense took control. Joe Jones came out of the sky to block a field goal and several Archie Manning passes. Turkey's one-man invasion ended when he caused Manning to fumble in the end zone. Waller Johnson's recovery was the score that beat the Saints, 21-17. Against the rampaging Redskins on the season's final Sunday, Mike Howell's interception was the big play of the day. For old time's sake, Gary Collins scored on his patented post pattern as the Browns won their 5th straight, finished with a 9-5 record, and appeared to have momentum for the playoffs. The next game was the last game, as on a gray, gloomy December day, the Colts decisively beat the Browns in the playoffs. Nick Skorich is an advocate of physical football, so it was no surprise that defense has become the name of the game in Cleveland. Biggest improvement last year was at cornerback, where for the first time Cleveland had the speed to extensively employ the bump and run. The reasons were Ben Davis and Clarence Scott. Unwavering determination brought Ben Davis back after 2 knee operations had jeopardized his career. Last year, Davis seemed to recover his old skills and once again was one of the fastest cornerbacks ever to play for the Browns. It's rare for a rookie to be a starter in Cleveland, but Clarence Scott was everything the Browns hoped he would be. The sleek, slender rookie from Kansas State has all the demanding qualities of a cornerback: speed, quickness, a nose for the ball, and sure tackling ability. In a smashing rookie year, Clarence Scott was tested often, but rarely fooled. Cleveland's real pride and joy is its young, aggressive front four. At one end is number 81, raw-boned Jack Gregory, who is equally effective against the pass or the run. At the other end position is a 6'6" turkey named Jones. For a big man, number 80 has remarkable speed that lets him track down a ball carrier anywhere on the field. But what Jones likes best is going after the quarterback. The Browns simply point him in the right direction, and Turkey knocks the stuffing out of anything in his way. The line's other second-year man is giant Jerry Shirk. Shirk is a former wrestling champion who utilizes that skill on enemy runners and quarterbacks alike. Walter Johnson is the senior member of the line. This season, Johnson slimmed down and added quickness and agility to his well-known reputation as one of the strongest men in the game. It was another season of pain for Bill Nelson. The man with the surgical knees again led his team to a title, and once again safely walked the fine line from disaster. This year, however, he was able to take punishment a bit better. For the first time, Nelson wore a knee brace, and it helped keep him in the lineup through the battering of a long NFL season. Next year, the Browns' master craftsman adds a new duty. He officially becomes tutor to young Mike Phipps, who continues to be Cleveland's hope for the future. The reason opponents can't key on Leroy Kelly is Bo Scott. In his third season, Big Bo firmly established himself as one of the strongest, swiftest runners in the league. Leroy Kelly had perhaps his finest season in the NFL. Free from injury for the first time in years, Kelly became a truly all-purpose back. For the first time in 5 years, he returned punts for his team. And as he did in 1965, Kelly led the league in doing it. This season, Kelly became the 6th leading all-time runner in football, and in one 5-game stretch, exceeded the 100-yard mark 4 times. With his flat-footed style, remarkable moves, and balance, Kelly once again looked like the Leroy of old. Probably the biggest gun in the Cleveland attack was Milt Morin. The 6'4", 240-pound tight end can catch a football with any receiver in the game, and last season was named an All-Pro at his position. One of the wide receivers was Fair Hooker, who in his second season as a starter matured into the Browns' leading pass catcher. Cleveland hit the jackpot in their trade for Frank Pitts. It was no coincidence that when Pitts began playing, the Browns started winning. So these were the 1971 Browns. Under Nick Scourge, they accomplished the difficult task of rebuilding, yet still winning a division title. The comeback is not yet totally complete, but his 9 opponents painfully discovered last year, the Cleveland Browns are back.